What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You're listening to Lyles Movie Files. Yeah, we've been away for a couple weeks because I moved and was staying in an extended stay hotel, which had awful Wi-Fi. So, yeah, we weren't able to work. Gunner, what's up with you, man?
What's good? How's it going, everybody?
Good. Jay King, what's up with you?
Hey man, loving life, living the dream, preparing for shutdown 2019 2.0 if it comes next week. Other than that, man, we're all doing well. Everybody's living and breathing, and we're eager to give another podcast to you all.
Yes, indeed. Little brother Jace, what's shaking?
Hi, what's going on? Glad to be back in podcasting.
Chief, what's up, man?
Hi, what's going on, Jeff? Fellas, listeners.
All right, let's just jump right into it. So the Super Bowl was Sunday, and because he won a sixth Super Bowl because the Rams had no idea which direction was the end zone, everyone's now falling over themselves to call Tom Brady the greatest football player of all time, or the GOAT. Now, they were calling him this before this Super Bowl, even though the last Super Bowl he lost. But this time, he is absolutely the GOAT, even though he didn't throw a touchdown this Super Bowl and managed to throw an interception. So, fellas, I'm putting this up for debate because we're going to get into all the movies and all the TV stuff, but I have got to put this question out to y'all first. Is Tom Brady the greatest football player of all time?
Okay. I have problems with calling anyone the greatest of all time because my thoughts on, like when LeBron declared himself the greatest of all time, as far as basketball players are concerned, I thought that was blasphemous to say and pretty arrogant and ignorant because to me, the greatest of all time, that title doesn't really exist because for what it's worth, somebody is destined to be greater than you were in their era. Now, to be declared the greatest of an era, to me, is more accurate. We can say Tom Brady is the greatest of the modern era, but in my opinion, he still has what he has over his contemporaries is rings. If we were to support that with numbers, overall numbers, he's going to surpass several players who played during his era and before him because of length of service. For what it's worth, this guy's first Super Bowl appearance was now, 18 years ago? We're getting to a point where Tom Brady, his years of service will be longer than the lifespan of some of his teammates. We're getting to that point. Right. So I would put him in the category of greatest of his era. Super Bowl rings aside, it takes a team to win a Super Bowl ring. It takes a total team. And for what it's worth, I would be more willing to call his coach the greatest of all time as far as what he's done with that team, as far as that quarterback. Remember, he took, what is the guy who came in and, when Tom Brady got hurt, who was it?
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle came in and guided that team to an 11-5 record, and they still missed the playoffs, right? I say that you can attribute the Patriots' success to me more to what Belichick has done than what Tom Brady has done.
I agree. Especially after the Super Bowl. Brady he looked like Eli Manning out there.
Pretty much. So I really have a problem with considering him the greatest of all time because for what it's worth, you got as long as there are players like Dan Marino, John Elway, Joe Montana, Steve Young, and the list goes on, who have played quarterback, Peyton Manning, the list goes on. As long as these players have their busts in the Hall of Fame and their jerseys hanging in their rafters retired, dude, it's hard to determine just because he has the hardware that he's the greatest of all time. I mean, Robert Horry has his hardware, but do we consider him the GOAT? No. Tom Brady's numbers are on par. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
So
Nobody's
your point
arguing.
is exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. So, I mean, he has the numbers and the jewelry.
I'm 100% with you. He is the greatest of his era. But the problem is his era has been extended in a way that the Youngs, Favres, Montana, Elway didn't have.
I can't hit you.
Back was broken. Yeah, exactly. Montana's back was broken. Aikman and Young had to retire due to concussions that Brady will not get because of the pillow cushion bubble wrap that they put quarterbacks under. And that's a huge reason for his success and longevity. He's not getting hit. I mean, when he got hit one time, was out for a season, they changed the rule.
They changed the rule. So, dude, it extends to me beyond the NFL into the NBA. In a different era, you're just one of many. The everything has changed to benefit. Like I don't want to just jump, but I'm gonna throw this out there. What would Michael Jordan, what would 26-year-old Michael Jordan do when he averaged 37 points a game in a league where you could play defense, trap, and hand check? What would he do in today's league? Think about that for a second.
80 points easy. It's like, remember, he didn't have to have a jump shot.
Thank you.
So he literally, he could, like your zone defense, he would dunk over these little dudes. Like, no. It's like, stop it.
Yeah, so that's my perspective. You're right, Jace. I mean, Jeff, y'all are right. Things have changed so much in sports that longevity and the rules have changed and made it so this is an offensive league and you can have that type of longevity. I can't hit the quarterback anymore. You can't play wide receivers at the line. It's an offensive league, and that serves to me the detriment to the nature of football as we knew it, because we have a point of reference. And I think what has tended to happen, and what has happened is, everything that just came out yesterday is the greatest thing ever. So I think that falls into the narrative of the GOAT. But summing this up, I can't call him the GOAT. I'll call him the greatest of this era.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Because, to me, if we're going to go with the greatest of all time, I would think in basketball, it's not Jordan, but Bill Russell, because he has more championships than anybody. And he only went one season without being a champion. That's crazy.
And he was a player coach. Remember that.
Yeah.
And like, he was so good, he stopped playing.
Again.
Come on. Okay. All right. I want to, and I hate to do this. I'm one of those people. I don't hate the Patriots. It's the rules have been changed to make it so you don't have quote unquote boring Super Bowls like we actually did. It's to make it very so you can jack your numbers up against the 10-4. The 1-4 teams. You don't sit down in the fourth quarter when you're up by 35 points. Like guys like Elway and Marino, they would have sat down like, hey, I trust that somebody is going to knock my knee out because there's no free agency, so they're not going to come play for my team. So they're going to make sure they don't see me in the second game. They're going to do things. They're going to mess up my wide receivers. My wide receivers can't go in the middle every play. There's no even our Super Bowl MVP. The things he did in the Super Bowl to get there would not have happened when we all started watching football. Mm-hmm. There is no Julian Edelman when we started watching football, sadly, like 30 years ago. Like, it's just like that little dude would have got Roger Craig, Steve Atwater. They would. I'm sorry, I said Roger Craig, but Steve Atwater, Ronnie Lott would have destroyed him. They would have been like, do it one time. I will murder that kid. He will be on the sideline with a concussion thinking, this ain't the sport for me.
Jeez. Mike Singletary would have obliterated him.
Dude, the third string corner, the nickel corner would have kept you at the line of scrimmage.
Work in my dad's accounting office.
Yeah. Like, this isn't what hey, and these guys were paid a whole lot less, so they're like, I want to keep getting this money. So you doing this little screen pass, going 5 yards, that ain't gonna work.
Mm-mm. It was a different league, man. It was a different league.
You guys talking about the game has changed. The game has changed since. If we were going by Super Bowl, if we're going by championships, then it was the Bears, Green Bay, then the Giants, or the Bears, the Giants, Green Bay, something like that. So since this Super Bowl era, the game. The guys used to wear leather helmets. So there's been rules initiated the whole way through with football. Now, the first thing you do when you argue with a player about their team, what do they tell you? If they got Super Bowls, they go to the Super Bowls. If you're talking to a San Francisco fan, he's going to hold up that 5. If you're talking to a Pittsburgh fan, he's going to hold up that 6. So that's what they base the greatness of their teams on. You know what I mean? Their team might be some 1 in 15, but they've got 6 Super Bowls, and they'll let you know. So I do believe in this modern era that he is the greatest quarterback there has been. And the reasons, here's my reasons why. He's never, except for the one season, he's never had a great receiver as far as wide receivers, except Moss. He's turned people you've never even heard of into winners. Like they win. I don't, and people say, well, you insert so-and-so and you insert so-and-so into there, and that's fine.
That's what great quarterbacks do, though, because nobody can name a Brett Favre receiver.
Well, I can. I mean, I can name Brett Favre. Brett Favre has some good receivers.
Freeman,
he did have some good receivers. Yeah.
I don't know.
He did have some. Yeah, he did have some decent receivers, Favre, and here and there.
Decent.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, who are the Patriots receivers? Like, who's the Patriots receivers from the Super Bowl 3 years ago? The third Super Bowl down.
Gronkowski.
Right. You can't name their receivers. Like, there's nobody.
And we all know that Elway turned some guys that we can't name into household names at one point. Peyton Manning did the same. That's what a great quarterback does.
Three amigos.
That's what great quarterbacks do.
What he had the marks, right? Marino.
No, that was Marino. Clayton and Dupree.
I said Marino. He named Marino though. I'm saying Mark had the marks. Yeah. But what all I'm saying is this: no matter how you
Elway
slice
had the
that
three
cake,
amigos.
Yeah, but how you slice that cake? They have gone and won these Super Bowls. They've won 6 out of 9 with talent that you wouldn't view as great. They've had average players making it through. Now, don't get me wrong, their division stinks, so on and so forth. But at the same time, you still have to beat the greatest that the NFC has to offer on that other side.
Oh yeah.
So with that being said, they have Tom Brady has 6. I don't know if anybody else on that team has 6. As far as players, Tom has 6. There's no other quarterback who has 6. And there may not be another player who has 6.
Oh no, there isn't.
Now you're talking about, is he the greatest quarterback of this modern era? I think so. I think so. Hell, you talk about Aikman. Aikman had at one point an all Madden team. He shouldn't have lost a Super Bowl. They were amazing. I remember Madden, the damn team, you could play all Madden team against the Cowboys. That's how good the Cowboys were at one point.
They had 7 players on all Madden.
But what I'm saying is you could play all Madden against the Cowboys, and they were damn near evenly matched on Madden. If you had that old Madden game.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. They had 7 players on that all Madden team, those Cowboy teams in that era. So if you think about this Patriots team, they do a whole lot with little. And like I said, and quarterback is the captain of that team. Now, just like I said, he's the greatest quarterback to me in this era. Just like LT is the greatest linebacker of this era. But it is what it is. You can't argue that the 6 rings. He's got 6. What are you going to do? And to be honest with you, if he comes back next year, he may have 7 because they're unable to stop those guys. So that's my take on Brady, man. His Super Bowl performance wasn't great, but it was his wide receiver who got MVP. You know what I mean? So he threw it to Edelman. So and they left him wide open all the time, and guess what? He hit him every time in the wide open space.
Jared Goff didn't do it to anybody wide open. So
right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you see, even at 41 or whatever age he is, he outdo the young boy who had, to me, a greater receiving team.
But like we said, it's not so much that he's doing it himself. For what it's worth, Bill Belichick, as we muse on Tom Brady, Bill Belichick is the architect for what's going on there. To me, it's Bill Belichick. Tom Brady, I'm not taking away from his greatness, but without Bill Belichick, there's a lot to be concerned with. If he's not there, is this the same team? If Bill Belichick walked out of the door 5 years ago and retired and said, you know what, I'm good where I am, is this the same team? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I hear you on that, but let me ask you this. Bill Belichick has been a coach before, right?
Yeah.
So he's got 2 rings with the Giants, and then he's got 6 with the Patriots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he coached the Browns, he moved around, he did whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Brady walks out, is this team the same? I mean, Brady's been hurt. Have they won a Super Bowl without Brady?
They went 11-5 his one season without Tom Brady.
They didn't go anywhere.
But 11-5 record says
in another year, that's good enough for them to get to the playoffs, and maybe beyond that.
You say that, but 11-5, then you can't pay big money for them dudes, and they go to another team and they're not as great. So
I mean, I dig it, but that's the mark of the coach and the system, because in another environment they're not as successful. What I'm saying is that 11-5 is the mark of, look, even without Tom Brady, 11-5 anywhere else in the NFL gets you to the playoffs. That might win you a division. It just wasn't good enough that year, because that year you had 3 teams that won 13 games. You had 3 teams that won 13 games, and the wild card was 12-4. So I mean, another team loses a game, they're right there in the playoffs, and maybe have another chance to win the Super Bowl or compete at least. And I'm not, like I said, it's not taken away from Tom Brady. It's just it's hard to call anybody, to me, the GOAT. I say the greatest of the era. I agree with that, the greatest of the era, but greatest of all time, it's like, dude, that's discounting a lot of people, and that's discounting a lot of eras.
Exactly. All right, let's move on, because we could talk about this forever. So, lots of big stuff. I want to get into the big news a bit later. I just want to take over a few quick things. So we had some really sad news on Sunday. Kristoff St. of the Young the Restless was found dead at his place on Sunday. And I'm sure everybody's sat in front of a TV at some point, whether their grandma or mama had them watching Young the Restless and was watching Neil do his thing on the show. And this is a wild one for me, because I remember when he first started showing up, there weren't a lot of black people on Young the Restless. I don't watch it now, but seeing him and Shamar Moore, it's like, man, okay, some brothers on the show. That's cool. I mean, I was watching anyway with my grandma, but it was really neat seeing somebody like us on the show with Drusilla and that whole thing. So it kind of sucks that oh boy, what did you guys watch Young the Restless, and what do y'all think about this news?
I was shocked. I was like, oh, then I remember, like, I think he lost his son to suicide, so he's been kind of in and out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I think last week was his anniversary of his son's parent suicide, so yeah, and people were saying people close to him were saying he wasn't doing well, so I was like, oh, that's right. But just to see that headline and his face was just like, whoa, because I'm like, I kind of grew up with that guy, right? You know what I mean? Like, definitely towards those like teenage years. You know what I mean? My mom watched it, and I'm like, all right, I'm hooked. I gotta watch it. I watched it like in and out of college, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, Neil's still on the show. All right, I'll cut in and cut out. You know how you do on soap operas, man. I'm like, okay, cut in, cut out. Oh, the bad guy's now married to this chick that he was stalking before, which happened on The Young and the Restless, by the way. Mm-hmm. And remember Cricket? Yeah, she got like married to the dude that was stalking her. Anyways, so Neil was on there, man. I'm like, okay, Neil's still on here. Cool. Okay, Victoria Raul was gone. All right, that's fine, I guess. Drusilla, I was like, she gone, I guess. Like, she was gone after a while, I think. And then, yeah, just to see that, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, and Shamar Moore went on and became a movie star, so it's like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. So I'm just like, gosh, that sucks. So I'll make sure to put in the notes. If y'all need help, talk to somebody, call into those hotlines and all that good stuff. But if you're out there listening, going through it, we need you. So stick around with us. Moving on to lighter fare. Bunch of show renewals this week. Walking Dead will be back for season 10. I know, Javon, you're very excited about that.
Chomping at the bit.
Haha, I like that. That was good.
See?
Simpsons will be back for seasons 31 and 32. That is crazy. I mean, I was a young kid when Simpsons started. These jokers make me feel so old. Getting renewed for a 32nd season.
32 years.
Yeah, that makes sense. No one could have seen
I feel like I need to start watching it again just so I can feel relevant.
I'll be honest with you, The Simpsons has gotten funny again. It's just, if you can deal with Marge's voice, because Julie Kavanagh's getting old, and Marge sounds like she's 90 now.
Yeah.
I mean, Marge
sounds like her mom.
Right.
Honey?
It sounds, it's off-putting sometimes, man.
I mean, you're making your voice sound scratchy, so I imagine 32 seasons of freaking doing that, plus the Tracy Ullman show. Yeah.
That's the only way you could do 30 seasons is animated. I mean, that's because any other way, the actors just look like they would make you feel so old.
Hey! We just got finished talking about Young and the Restless.
No. I mean, like but you see, like Young and the Restless can put in some new young castmates, and you're just like, wait a minute, you're still old. What?
Yeah, but Victor Newman's still like going strong, isn't he?
Hey, man, gotta be like. Hey, Victor's got to be like.
That's because he looked old back when we were young.
You know, the funny thing is, like, if you looked at their Christmas shows, like when you're home for Christmas and you see their little recap seasons, you're just like, dang, you look old then, but you look like a villain back then. You look like you were about to be Dracula. Now you're the old statesman. Like, dang, God.
Now he is Dracula. He's feeding off of young babies. Jeez, Victor Newman.
He's got a painting at the bottom of that studio somewhere of his young face or his old face in there painting.
Right, Dorian Gray style.
I mean,
hey, James, I know you're going to be happy about this news.
What? What you got?
Modern Family is going to be back for one more season.
I think that's it. That's the right call. I have it on my DVR, and I will pop in every now and then, and I'm just like, huh. So what are we doing here? But I mean, right. You know the funny? But I think they actually I think they set the groundwork for it this season, because like everything they've done, and now Haley is pregnant, so maybe you say you wrap all this whole show up was basically a documentary for her kid when she turns 18. Like, so it's like, okay, like, I mean, it wraps up better than How I Met Your Mother, so.
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a smart call. Like, hey, let the young kids go off to greener pastures, and let the rest of them try and go and find the next paycheck. So, it's a good call. Good call, ABC.
The little girl in college now. Like, what's happening?
Which one? The baby?
Yeah.
She's I don't know what she's like at the sad, unfortunate duty of growing up on TV as a teenager.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what age she really is, but it's like they got her. She's growing up in that, and it's like, that would suck. But hey, I'm sure her paycheck doesn't, so she's somewhat working through it.
The Disney paycheck, man.
Just like Carl.
Hey, Carl's band is going well, I'm sure.
The Wizards just traded Otto Porter for a tuna fish sandwich.
So,
hey, he was $22 million. I understand.
All right. We've gone past the sports hour. Moving on. So, Brad Pitt, World War Z had sequels lined up. Those are now
Really? Why?
Scrapped.
which is great because you can't have star power in a zombie movie. Did you watch World War Z? I mean, he was falling out of a plane. There were zombies on a plane, and he still survived. It was ridiculous.
That plane actually went down miraculously. People survived the plane crash, didn't get eaten by the zombies while they were unconscious from the plane crash. And he saved the day. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But he walked out of that. He walked out of there with malaria. Like he was like, "Yeah, I'm the man." Like that's
man.
Brad Pitt star power. What? The way he walked out of
that. You can't have a zombie movie with star power, man.
Zombie movies be like
he was like, I'm Brad Pitt. Trick.
BC actors in zombie movies. Like you need to have a think. It's like, hey, almost like kind of how Doom did it, where it's like you think The Rock's gonna be the only one standing because he wasn't The Rock at that point, and then he didn't. They're like, oh, okay. But you have Brad. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you haven't seen Doom, chances are you were never going to go see it anyway.
Don't go see that crap. I was like, why are you
It's on Netflix. It's not that bad.
It's not in my
Doom
list.
was exactly the kind of movie it needed to be.
It's a video game.
No, Doom is exactly the kind of movie it needs to be. It's nothing more. Yeah.
Yes.
The Rock's Doom.
Yes.
Doom.
Yeah. Okay.
Carl Urban and Rosamund Pike and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh. Thanks. No, I would more liken that to what is it? 100 Days of Night or whatever that was when they were up.
Oh, that movie was great.
See, that was a great movie.
All Expendables. Like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares who any of these people are?
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's what you have to do. I mean, you can't have a movie with Brad Pitt where you automatically assume he's surviving anyway.
Well, because he's not going to die any damn way.
Like Matthew, what was it? Matthew Fox. He was in the movie 5 minutes. I'm like, you almost could have used him as a lead. And you might have thought, I'm not sure he's going to survive. Brad Pitt, he's going to go. If there's like 10 extra movies, he's still around. Like he could be the last survivor. He's still going to survive somehow.
Yeah, he's just going to get a haircut.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, the zombies will sometimes don't like his fabric he wears on his arm.
We're going to keep this thing rolling.
Okay. What other shows
we're going to keep this thing going. Okay. Those were the shows that got renewed. We're going to roll on beyond the shows that got renewed. Right. Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, said that, don't worry, you're still going to get a foul-mouthed Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. There's no plans to change Deadpool when they move him over to Disney. What do you guys think about that? Smart.
Yeah, smart man.
Call from Disney, or does it matter anyway?
Good call for Disney.
Yeah.
Chief, did you need a Deadpool cursing?
I mean, the Deadpool's fine the way it is. For Disney to change it, I mean, it would have been why change the formula that's working? People go see Deadpool. I love Deadpool. They, for them to step in and make any changes and make it and it's not a child's movie, not for kids, not like the rest of the Marvel series. Plus, I don't think children would get the little Easter eggs he does in the movie anyway. So yeah, they had to do it. They couldn't have made it. It was the right call, definitely.
Good deal. All right, Taika Waititi, the director of Thor Ragnarok, said, "Yeah, I'm good on being the stepdaddy, and I will not be directing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. He said, that's James Gunn's baby, and I don't want to step in on the property acting like I'm the new father." What do you guys think about that? Because I think there is going to be a major problem for Disney trying to find an established director to take over that role. I think they're going to have to get somebody new because there's a sense of loyalty with people in Marvel Studios, the Guardians cast, specifically Dave Bautista. But you got the sense that no director who's currently in the Marvel Studios fold wants that gig. What do y'all think about that one?
Well, what's the guy who did Fantastic Four? What's he up to?
Ha!
Yeah, nobody's
hopefully taking some orders at McDonald's.
Doing his laundry. I don't know.
He's at home washing his tights. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, I got one. I got one for him. Tim Burton.
Woo!
I don't know if we want to go that deep with Guardians, but we could.
I feel like Tim Burton is a little bit past his creative prime on that.
That's a good point.
I
have
mean,
to
he's
agree
doing
with that.
See, I think
He's
the problem is there is
he's
a
doing Dumbo,
formula.
so I mean,
But there's a formula with the Guardians movie. We kind of know what to expect. And at this point, with the third film, you've got to stay somewhat consistent with what audience expect. Otherwise, you get a G-rated Deadpool.
Well, who knows? I mean, I think he's smart enough to realize all of that, right? And plus, this is somebody who's made movies before, good or bad. I mean, he's made good movies. He's made bad movies. I mean, maybe he can do it. But if you got nobody who's willing to take on the mantle, you still have Tim Burton. He's worked with Disney before. I mean, he wouldn't know, to me, what to do with this.
You say he would know what to do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he would try to put too much of himself into it. I think he would just try to follow what's there and, make a few cosmetic changes for what it's worth. But if you're looking for somebody, I think Tim Burton would be a better. We probably would love to do it. The thing is, they got to find somebody who wants to actually do the damn movie.
Right. Make Ryan Coogler do it. Why not?
Yeah. No. I mean, he's
Ryan Coogler.
Coogler's a little busy.
Yeah.
I mean,
on his schedule.
He's working on Black Panther next year.
So link them together. Hey, do a twofer.
Okay.
I just want the brother to get some more work. That's all, man. Look,
I want another brother to get some work. Let somebody.
Who?
Let Jordan Peele get in there.
No, we don't need no allegorical Guardians of the Galaxy, man.
Now let's get to the real heart of this episode. Liam Neeson was in an interview on Monday, and in this interview, he talked about his friend that was raped and how he felt. Now, in the context of all this, he was talking about, the reporter asked him about, hey, have you ever felt this rage? Because of the movie where he's going to be killing people who killed his son. So, this question was asked in that context. Have you ever felt that mad that you want to go and kill somebody? And he said that he recalled a story 40 years ago of one of his friends who was raped, and he asked for a description, and she told him it was a black dude, and he then told the reporter that he wanted to go and find a quote-unquote black bastard to take out. So he was going to black areas. I'm not sure if he was still in Ireland at this point or what. But he was driving around trying to find some black guy who would pick a fight with him so he could get into a fight and maybe kill him. And then he realized, hey, this is crazy. I am not a guy with a special set of skills, even though I play one on the movies. And he was like, this is crazy and that's bad. I got to stop doing that. That's not good. That's not healthy. And that predictably led to a sea of outcry from people wanting to mute and cancel Liam Neeson. And so he's kind of done the whole, let me further explain this. He went on Good Morning America to kind of give some greater context. He was not like some of these governors who are running around going, oh, wait, you found that yearbook picture from 40 years ago. Oops. He was the one that initiated this whole dialogue. And a lot of mixed opinions on it. And I'm curious to hear guys have to say about this. He's done his Good Morning America appearance, but Liam Neeson has canceled his Colbert appearance, and there's not going to be a red carpet for his film. Let's see. Chief, what do you think about this? Let's start with you first. Is he joining the Mel Gibson camp, is my question.
All right, I get you. Yeah, I think so. I was telling me, I think Gunner, we were on that thread yesterday, and I was telling Gunner I'm running out of white actors to follow because they always say something just incredibly stupid. I don't know what would make you bring this up unprovoked in an interview. I don't like and there was no costume. Why are you looking for? Why are you going around? I mean, I wish he had found a black guy and got his ass whooped personally. But You know, cats is feeling real. You know, and I guess back then, I mean, that was a Saturday night. You know what I mean? Whack-a-mole, whack-a-black, maybe, and maybe cats, did that. I don't know. I mean, who? And I was looking at Twitter earlier. Somebody left a thread and said that if you inserted blacks for a dog, people would be crucifying him. You know what I mean? His friend got bit by a dog, so then he went out on the streets with a bat looking for any dog to bash, to bash and kill. People would be going crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was going to kill a dog? No. Then people, be honest with you, it's been pretty chill as far as, people, what's been said about it. I don't,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't heard a lot of I'm getting it, I'm seeing Twitter Wale's yo, don't make excuses. There's some cats out here that are yo, you trash, we're canceling them. But I'm seeing some black folks entertainers saying, yo, we defended this cat. Whoopi defended him, which I mean, okay. Walk into a room with blackface with a dude in blackface, I mean, I'm sorry, Whoopi, you haven't lived that one down ever. So, you make an excuse for Liam Neeson doesn't surprise me. Terry Crews, you're starting to disappoint me, bruh. You know what I mean? I'm he's starting to defend him too, and I'm okay. So if anything, I'm seeing defending him. I haven't heard a celeb or anybody come out and be yo, that's trash. Other than Wale or maybe somebody else, but everybody, the backlash has been from us, people like us, a regular old user, at dude that works at the bank, Twitter.com. You know what I mean? So everybody else is yo, this is kind of off, man. Why are you going around beating people? So, I mean, I think there's some backlash, but I hear you, Chief. There hasn't been the outcry, Save 21 Savage outcry.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I think I have some thoughts on the lack of outrage. One, Liam Neeson has not been one that we have. I mean, it's not you get one pass, but I feel he was the person that opened up that dialogue. And I think it's a huge difference when you open up the dialogue, knowing you're talking to a reporter, because I've talked to many people who are very cautious about every word they said to reporters. And hey, this is off the record. And he didn't do that. And he explained his perspective. And I also think that whole rape thing really is something that, I don't know. I mean, it's I feel as if I knew someone that got raped and I felt hey, I'm big and bad. I'll go look for somebody because maybe that's the dude that did it.
No,
and
Jeff.
I feel
I know people that have been raped, never been. Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna be the one. I disagree. I mean, I'm gonna disagree with Melvin and Chief on this. As much as everybody says they want to have a conversation on race, this is actually how you get it started. And it's actually hey, I'm throwing this out there by myself. Hey, I thought stupidly because is nobody wants to admit it. If a man, and I said this before, a man will feel mad to some woman that they know got raped. A woman would empathize, but a guy's because we are supposed to be, we feel we are protectors of women, and we feel hey, you know what? Somebody violated one of my friends, and if I find that bastard, because I mean, if I find that bastard, I'm gonna beat his head in. It's we all say that, if we have a little sister, son. It's if somebody did something like that to our sister or our wife, we would be ready to beat the dog crap out of.
Yes, that person.
Okay, hold on. Gunner, hold on. I know you're gonna try and get in there, but it's and if it's and say, and add in race, if we're all black men, but if somebody said that I'll even throw it in current today terms, if somebody said some white person raped my sister or somebody like that, you know what? I'm going to feel some kind of way about them. I'm going to feel this anger, just rage. And you know what? If I'm at the bar when I get this news and some white guy bumps into me, just, having a drunken frat boy night, I might beat his head in. Because guess what? I need somewhere to let that rage go. So I'm sorry. I think that is a human emotion. It's like, and we say, yes, I wanted to be a black guy. If anybody gave that description of a different race or somebody, you would be every dude that I know. Okay, why?
Because a white dude waving a black person,
put it
literally
on
how
context.
we're here. It's literally how we're here, Jason. Let's not forget that part. So we can't. So one is actually based on history. The other one's based on hyperbole, on how so many black men have been lynched over the years. Is that story?
How did they get? But how?
Whether it's true or not. So Liam Neeson is touching on that little piece of history and saying, hey, by the way, because this was a random ass freaking statement. This wasn't like part of a topic. This wasn't like he's not at a round table talking about race. This is him just saying, hey, you know what? I had this crazy racist thought. You want to hear it? And it's black, and he should get some backlash.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Hold on. Basically, he's just saying that you know what? I'm Liam Neeson, who didn't find my Trayvon Martin. Hi. You know what I mean? That's basically what he's saying. So
I wanted to go
that
out
crap is out the window to me because
any black bastard that I could find. Not that I wanted to find who hurt my friend. I wanted to beat any black bastard. So that means you, me, Gunner, Chief, Jeff. If he would have just been walking, this is what happens. This has happened out here where some white guy with a chip on his shoulder decides that I want to just go hurt random black people because I'm feeling this way. Anger is one thing. When a racial connotation is behind that anger, that's when you get a hate crime, right? Liam Neeson, albeit was angry and he wanted to have some sort of retribution for his friend who was hurt, to go about it to say, I just wanted to find any black bastard I could find. Any black bastard didn't hurt your friend. That means you were just looking for
a white dude, and
right.
She's telling that part truth just because. Hey, guess what? I'm a student of history.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A woman getting raped by a white dude, they automatically be like, "Well, it's a black dude." That's how Rosewood started. I mean, that part of the movie was true. Let's be clear. So. Come on, man. If she said a white dude, then he's gonna go down the street and just mess around with come on.
That's the part he says I was wrong. That attitude was wrong.
That's nice, but why was it in your head in the first freaking place? And why are you even talking about it now? Some things you don't need to say out loud, especially, hey, he solved it, right? He's wrong, right? He knew he was wrong. Why are you even saying it right now in a context that's not even like a round table where we're talking about race, right?
Okay.
That don't even make any sense.
Okay, so him actually saying, hey, I had some, and I'm going back to what I said originally. It's like, we all talk about we want a dialogue, but then when somebody starts it, you're like, you're an asshole. You shouldn't have mentioned it. It's like, no, you should mention it. It's like, hey, he's saying, hey, guess what? I had a thought in my head that was stupid. I knew, and it didn't take years. It didn't take 40 years to think this was a stupid, angry thought. This was like just 2 seconds of introspection that this is a stupid ass idea. And guess what? That's right. You can't go out here beating up every black bastard just because my friend might have been raped by a black person. Yes, that is stupid. But he now opens that can of worms, and now he's a villain. It's because he's not. I'm sorry. No. Everybody in this damn room has thought something wrong about somebody for stupid reasons.
And never decided to say it on national TV and didn't expect backlash from it. Let's be clear about that. Secondly, if I say, hey, you know what's on my mind? I'm pissed off because this woman hurt me. So what I'm going to do is go out here and go hurt some woman. Guess what kind of backlash I'm going to get? Don't even give me that kind of weird, it just doesn't. They're not even. There's not an even playing field here. And if he wants to talk about race, great. But let's not just throw out. You know what? I wanted to beat black bastards and this and that and the other. Like literally, let's be clear. This was not a. I don't think this was a roundtable about race at all. Was it?
He said, "Hey, have you ever felt rage like? Have you ever felt rage like this before?"
Yeah, one time when I wanted to kill a bunch of black people. Come on, man. Like that's answer. But that's ridiculous. That's George Zimmerman's answer right there. He's a George Zimmerman that never found his Trayvon Martin.
What'd you say, Jeff?
Okay, so he never found his Trayvon Martin. Now I have a question to you all then. So that never happened. Is there a time frame when you think stupidly and you grow up? I mean, he didn't do anything. Now, are we still holding him to 40 years ago stupid Liam Neeson mindset?
Race doesn't go away that easily. So racism doesn't go away that easily. Sorry. And the fact that he just said that on national TV means that he was never coached by anybody on PR. Secondly, he has no black friends to say, hey, man, maybe you don't want to say that on TV because of that, which also says a lot.
All right,
too.
Another question.
So
Viggo
yes,
Mortensen.
I can.
All right, hold on. So Viggo Mortensen had that whole controversy where he said the N-word when he was trying to say, hey, our society's different. People don't go around calling people the N-word. And that sparked a lot of backlash. And he talked to Mahershala Ali and apologized. And Mahershala said, hey, it hurt me, but I accept his apology. I know he's real and he's true with what he was trying to say.
Talking about celebrities, right? People that have to be in the public eye, so he has to say that kind of crap, right?
No, I'm saying Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali. I'm talking about two other celebrities. Excuse me.
He was just saying the N-word. He wasn't calling anybody that, right?
He was saying that, today's society is better. We don't run around calling people the N-word. And because he said the word, he said the word, he didn't say the N-word. There was a ton of backlash, and people were like, oh, man, this is going to hurt the Green Book's Oscar chance.
Well, nothing was going to hurt that.
It's going to hurt his Best Actor chances. And he had to duck out of a few awards. I know, but I'm saying, so this is the same kind of deal. So, he had to go and talk to Mahershala, and Mahershala was like, look, dude, he wasn't right there to say, hey, don't say that. And
I don't know if just somebody saying, a white guy saying the word and just speaking about it versus a white guy calling another black person, you know what I mean? Versus, you know what I mean? I think that to me is not even on the same level as somebody saying I was looking for any black bastard to kill.
One is two different.
Now, my point with my question is this. But my point with the question is, one thing happened 40 years ago. One happened 3 months ago. Now, do you think that Viggo Mortensen is racist because he said that, or do you think that Liam Neeson is still racist because he thought something 40 years ago?
No. I think with the Viggo Mortensen case, he was trying to highlight a larger point. But even to that point, that's spoken like a white man who obviously is not attuned to what it means exactly. What it means, it's better because we're not being called niggas. Well, by who? I don't got to leave the state of Maryland to be called a nigga to my face. If you really want to know something,
not just by white folks. So please,
if you really want to know something, so times really, we may not be swinging from trees as much, or people may not be as liberal with the word out in public settings as they may have been 60, 70, 80 years ago, what have you. But it's still here and it still exists. Racism is alive and well. You don't got to go far to find it either. To that degree, they had a movie to promote. It's an Oscar season. It's up for awards. So, of course, there's going to be, I apologize to Mahershala. Well, Mahershala is not the dean of all black people either.
Right.
So, you apologize to Mahershala. That's cool. But, I don't think Viggo really meant as much malice.
But he did apologize in general, but he called Mahershala up.
Well, yeah, that's great. Well, I understand that part of it, but Mahershala.
He apologized, hey, this is.
And he didn't call Mahershala himself,
but because they've had a working relationship, he called him.
Yeah,
let me ask you this: Did Liam Neeson? Did he say I was looking for any black bastard?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so this is my point. So it happened 40 years ago. So even now, today, when he's telling the story,
no, that's what he said.
If he's saying I was looking for any black bastard, that's a problem. I mean, and even if he had said even if he was talking to the reporter and been like, hey, she told me she got raped by a black man, so I went looking for that guy. You know what I mean? I went looking for that particular black guy. I could understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to, mess him up. I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the 90s, some white dudes called my grandfather a nigger down in Watkins Park. He was playing his numbers. Jeff, you know I'm talking about, the Chinese store, and then the liquor store was right there. Chinese restaurant, and the liquor store is right there.
Say that again?
Across the parking lot.
I know exactly
Chinese
where.
store, where? So the liquor store is right there next to the Chinese store in Watkins Park Plaza. And he was walking back across the street, I think there's a Safeway there, to his car, and two white guys in a pickup truck. It was like, something nigger. Came home, he told me about it. I jump in my car, I go down there looking for two white guys in a pickup truck, a red pickup truck. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, stop right there.
Every
Totally different. No, Jason.
No, you heard it too. You heard it 100% too. You heard it too. You would have found any two white guys in a red pickup truck, and you'd have had words with them.
Right there.
But guess what? That's totally different than saying I'm going to find
that's
any
the description.
black bastard.
That's not any. Hold on, Jason. That's not any black. That's not any white guy. I'm not looking for any white guy. I could have walked out this building and hit a white dude.
Okay,
I'm looking for a white guy, two white guys in a pickup truck with a certain description.
Okay, so she's been given. Hey, I gave you the. I'm looking for. I mean, even using Gunner's analogies, like the sad thing is, it's like, hey, going back in, the 60s and stuff like that. I mean, no, I'm sorry, 50s and 60s. It's like, hey, some black dude, like, as much as we all watch the news, how many times are we, hey, it's a black dude who's between 5'10" and 6'2", who's 180 pounds and 225 pounds. It's like, if that was actually your family or somebody like that, yes, I find somebody who matches that description, that black bastard's getting it.
But those descriptions are actually really like tight like that for that reason. They're like, it's a black dude. Cool. Black dude on a black shirt. Okay, thanks. Like, because they just know that that's what demonizes. I mean, that's just how it works. You're talking about somebody that actually, listened to those reports all night at a freaking newsroom. Like, come on, man. Like, that's just how it was. When it was a white dude, it was like extra descriptive.
Right.
There's racism involved.
I didn't find the pickup truck, so no white people were harmed in the filming of that movie.
There you go.
So that's the whole point I'm making. I didn't go down there for every white person. I went down there looking for those two white guys with the mullet in the red pickup truck. I didn't find them.
It's pretty distinct.
Everybody, you know what I mean? So, and that's the point. So, and I didn't, I'm not going out looking for any white bastard. I'm not, you know what I mean?
And you didn't say that on live TV.
Okay.
Still.
Okay.
Like, come on, man. The fact that he even said it like that was ridiculous. You get what I mean? Like, that's just ridiculous to me. So, the fact that he's recalling this story and then recalling it exactly like that means that, no, he hasn't changed. I'm good on accepting the fact that Liam Neeson has not changed his outlook on things. And the fact that's what he picked.
I watched the video.
No, but and that's what he picked as his angry moment.
Okay,
I remember when I was looking for niggas.
Did you listen to what he said in Today's Show or something?
I listened to the actual thing. Yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, after that interview, did you listen to what he said after?
Why the hell would I do that? As soon as a dude says black bastard and they're not in front of me, I turn it off. If they're in front of me, guess what I'm going to be doing? I don't care if you think you're taken or not, man. You're going to get punched in the face on that one. Sorry. Like, dude, no. The way he said black bastard, I'll look for any black bastard. I'm like, that dude rolled off his tongue. And I'm sorry, 39 years of being a black man in America, you know when someone means that shit. So, nah, he doesn't get a pass. He don't get no excuses. All these stars are doing the same thing because they're all celebrities too. So, this is what they got to do. But the comparing it to that Vigo, whatever, the whitewash film crap, I mean, yeah, he may not have said it in context of like being mean, but they both have a blind spot if you're looking for something in common. Both white men have a blind spot. Liam Neeson thought it was okay to say that because he thought this was a post-racial society, so he could just say, "Oh, I was looking for any black bastard." Da, 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 da. No, and then old boy, he was sitting here like, we're past this. We don't have to say this word," which is also a huge blind spot. It just speaks to the white privilege of being able to just kind of, I don't know, like dictate that conversation. You get what I mean, or at least attempt to, or think you can. And if anything, if just going back to what you were saying, Jeff, like that would be the commonality of those two gentlemen. That's all I got. I'm done. Sorry.
Okay. If we're gonna say that, it's like so is there an official arbitrator of who starts that conversation?
Yeah.
I mean,
What do you mean?
I mean, like you're saying, like if he's the one who's allowed to speak on it, but he's not allowed to, then who is?
What are you talking about? What his situation? What he was asked a specific question about? Since you haven't watched it, obviously, he was asked a specific question about why or how he got angry, or have you ever been in a situation where you're really angry? He picks that situation and picks those words. Like, come on, man. There's no other, there's no other way of looking at that one. If it looks like a duck and walks like a duck. So if you're at a round table and he was saying that, I mean, yeah, that's the whole point of a round table about talking about race. But he wasn't. He just picked that, and that's ridiculous. So
what you're saying is it has to be at a round table for it to actually be a discussion.
Why not? I mean, right now he picked that, and the way he said it. Again, if you go back and listen to it, because obviously you haven't listened to it because you're defending him, then go ahead and please.
You can give me the transcript of that at any time. If you give me the transcript,
online. It's called Google. Do a fresh Google.
Thank you, Mr. Condescending. I actually do use Google, but what I'm saying is, you can give me the transcript. You can Google.
Where's my popcorn gift?
It's like, I mean, again, you can tell me the transcript. I can watch the video 100 times. I'm still say the exact same thing. It's like,
I don't think you will, because you're a black man in this country too, and you'll be like, oh no, he meant that shit.
Again, it's like, I'm sorry. Do you know how often I say something like, every one of these words, it's like, you catch me on a wrong day, or you catch me talking off cuff, I will say every damn word they say. So
he wasn't angry right there.
This
was something that he was saying.
You open the door. Okay, somebody opened the door and said, "Hey, have you ever felt this kind of rage?" Yeah, man. It's like something like this happened. I was just. I mean, it's like I'm looking for any damn black bastard. It's like I'm looking for any damn black bastard. Yeah. Just any black bastard. It's like it's nice.
I mean, I'm just gonna speak for myself in this one, right? There have been times where someone I love, someone I've cared about, have been hurt by someone. And a few times it's someone of a different race. I never thought that in regard to a retribution, I would want to hurt a random member of that race. I want to direct my anger and rage towards the person who hurt who I love.
All right. So, Javon.
Hold on.
Jeff, you sound like you're drunk.
Love this discussion. Took off this conversation. So, turn your radios down. I guess the question I have is that we're all going from personal experiences, and here's how I would handle it. Here's what I would do. Here's what I've done. Now, I'm loving the dialogues. I'm not taking sides either way. But my question to you all then, if he did it the way you would do it, would that have made it okay? Or because he did it differently, does that not make it okay?
It's not because he didn't do anything apparently, right?
Right.
It's what was conveyed in that. It's what was conveyed in that. I wanted to hurt any black bastard I could find. Well, any black bastard didn't do anything to your friend. That kind of means to me, and maybe we're reading too much into whoever. It's all interpretive of how you see it. that means to me that any black man would have done. So where really is your head at? What really is on your mind if any black man would do? Hey, this black man that you made, what if you would have run into a black man that night you were feeling that way, and that guy was just leaving out of the store with Pampers
And
going
Javon,
home
to
with his
that
family?
point, I think what's happened with the news is that we're like super aware of the worst case scenario because we've seen it repeatedly happen over and over again. And, even before there were dashboard cameras and cell phones, that kind of stuff was going on. From what I read and what I heard in an interview, he was going hoping somebody else made the first move. He was not going trying to, like, he wasn't going around like, let me catch.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something about that
dude
too.
Looking at me funny. He was like, I hope somebody comes on up at me.
Well, Jeff, I'm gonna be honest with you. George Zimmerman wasn't looking at. I'm pretty sure he wasn't saying that night, I'm gonna find any kid I can. But this kid right now will do. And who knows? In that frame of mind, you say that right now because nothing happened. And for what it's worth, that probably happened when he was, 26 years old? He's 66. Mm-hmm. And also in that saying, I'm not saying that he can't grow and learn from that and from that experience. Say, man, I was really dumb. And he did say something to that effect, right? I was really dumb back then. I was in a wrong frame of mind and all that. And I understand that because, hey, you live this life, you're going to grow from it. But there's still something there. There's something to be said about the way he felt in that moment. And that still kind of may translate into who he is today because for what it's worth, why would you even, like I said, any black bastard would have done. So that means, like I said, some guy just walking out of the store carrying Pampers. Let's say if he brushed up against you, I'm sorry, man, my fault. Then what? That's the initiated contact. That's all you needed to go off, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you in that frame of mind, it don't take much. So who knows, man? Who knows? It's just, I honestly, for his sake, I hope he really did grow and learn from that. And that's not a part of who his character is today. Hopefully it's not. But dude, that's seriously, that's what you say. That's where you drew your anger from. Right. That's what you was gonna do. Okay.
Now,
say that part again.
What'd you say, Gunner?
Oh, I was saying like Liam Neeson isn't a part of like my life and other than like I watch a movie about him, right? But like let's say my boss did that on like national TV. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna trust that dude. I can't. Hold on, let me say it like this: I can't trust that he changed just because of the way he said it, and that's who he is. I just can't do that. This person touches my life in this way. You get my point? Like Liam Neeson, I'm like, okay, like we can talk and till we're blue in the face about this and agree or disagree or whatever. But let's say somebody that is connected with you, you know what I mean? Like, and then he says that on national TV that way. About that. Now, that's great that he could dialogue about race if he wants to. Why hasn't he done that to me, his black friends, meaning Liam Neeson's black friends? Hopefully he has before this situation, but from the way he said that and the way he sounded, that doesn't sound like it. And I'm going to look at it the same way. And I'm like, again, if this was my boss,
so
I'd be a little cautious.
Example, with your boss.
Now we're starting to touch on some real life stuff. And I don't want to say on the air, but you start putting your exit plan in place and seeing what else you can do, because that's something. It depends on what you can tolerate. And if it gets to a point where you can't, if it gets to that bar, whatever that bar is for everyone, because we all have it. Most of us people of color have it. You know what I mean? What we can take and what we can't. Most women have it. What we can take and what we can't. You know what I mean? As far as sexual harassment goes and stuff. So. It just depends. That's a personal thing, man. Like you just got to see, and even that varies depending on your age and your whatever. Like at 22, I took a lot of crap because I'm starting out. At 35, I was like, yo, you know what? I'm out. I don't need this. I know what I'm good at. I'm out. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So it really depends. But to answer your question, I don't compartmentalize. I take them both at the same thing, and that if anything, it adds to that person's makeup or what I see of them, and I'm like, and it adds a negative. It adds a negative to it.
All right, good deal. Okay, since my connection is screwy and all over the place, let's wrap this up here. And fellas, I know we've gone through a lot of good choices, but do you have any nominees for Dummy of the Week?
Okay, I got one. So I was watching the news today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is one I showed you guys earlier.
Which one?
But in a new gentrifying DC, some restaurateur thought it would be amusing and way to get buzz for his restaurant by allowing artists to make former rappers or deceased rappers or famous covers and that prominently featured African Americans and made the rappers chickens and roosters. This individual of I don't want to give of some nameless Howard Shaw area restaurant. I choose not to give him any slight press for this idiot.
Thank you.
So I mean, he just thought, oh yeah, this is a great, I can do this, and thankfully the news featured people prominently dragging this idiot through the mud for not understanding. Hey, is going back to our earlier discussions. It's like people seeing African Americans as animals and not in subhumans. And he thought that was a great idea in a prominent, what used to be a very prominent black neighborhood. I'm not going to say across from the street because it's a famous landmark.
And did you mention the fact that this is a fried chicken restaurant too?
Oh yeah. I mean, this. I'm sorry, I did not mention that. It was just a fried chicken and oyster bar, and it was just like
organic fried chicken.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh well.
And it's just like this dummy, and I will say nameless DC Shaw dummy thought this was okay in a way to get buzz for his restaurant. The news and everybody on there correctly dragged this idiot through the mud, and now he has changed course and decided, maybe that's not the way to go. So, if you happen to see any new chicken joints on Howard Shaw Street, please be sure to go find somewhere else to go and not to give this dummy of the week any business when his restaurant opens.
Hey, Jason. Maybe that was their attempt to talk. Maybe that was their attempt to talk race.
Chief, how about you? Oh, go ahead, Connor.
I was saying, I was telling Jason, I was like, maybe that was their excuse of how to talk about race. When do you bring it up then?
Yeah, you tried to bring it through and it didn't work.
Who dictates it? Who dictates that?
When you actually put it in your restaurant as being racist, you're racist.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking stupid.
Like, you lose. You can't tell. Like, I just decided to come into your black neighborhood and call you guys a bunch of monkeys.
Pretty much.
Right
across from your school. Right across from the school. Right, here you go.
Come here and get some of this overpriced fried chicken.
Yeah, and I've actually, what used to be a nice, probably African American restaurant, I've decided to take this out for a high price rent that I used to have in Clarendon. So now I want to see if I can actually insult you guys and make you pay for my overpriced fried chicken. Let's see if we can do.
Didn't it replace Tasty Burger? Which I don't remember if it was black owned or not.
I honestly didn't even want to get a location because I really don't want to. This just if you see a new fried chicken joint on U Street, just go somewhere else. Like there's plenty of places there. It's like hell. I mean, is Horace and Dickie still available on whatchamacallit? Gosh, what is that? 8th Street? Just go there.
You can stay in the Shaw Howard area and go to Half Smoke. That's great business. Howard students, black owned. Go down there. There's always bins. Enjoy. I'm sorry. I'm still thinking of my dummy of the week. Somebody else go.
All right. Go ahead, Chief.
I'm just gonna go with our boy we've been talking about. You know what I mean? I'll go with him. Some things, everything doesn't need to be said. Some things should remain unspoken. So I definitely think that maybe he smoked something real good. and just his mouth couldn't, his brain couldn't catch his mouth. You know what I mean? And so that's my dummy of the week. I just, like, dude, like out of all the things you could have said, that was it. And, that's pretty much my guy for this week. I'm sure it's, probably before this week is even out, I'm sure somebody will step in. There's always somebody willing to take that spot, isn't it? People line up for it.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. All right, Siobhan, what you got?
Keep it in theme for my hero of the week. We got enough dummies and idiots out here. My hero, good person of the week, is Miss Candace Payne out of Chicago, who used her own money and booked rooms for the homeless during the cold snap they had up there in Chicago last week, when temperatures were, what did I read? It was colder in Chicago than it was in Antarctica for a string of like 4 or 5 days. And say again? Yeah, and she got hotel rooms for those who had nowhere to sleep, the homeless in Chicago, and she did that on her own, man. For all these $1 million athletes, all these people making all this money, all these rappers holding stacks and racks up to their ears like a cell phone, that money could be going to stuff like this, man. This is what we need in the world. She's my hero of the week.
Good one. All right, Gunner, you're up.
All right. It was going to be Liam Neeson, but we talked about him, so, I don't know. Basically, just like Chief said, everything Chief said. So I got to switch up to my number 2, Governor Northam, sticking with the theme of white dudes and race this week, right on Black History Month, though. That's interesting. So Northam, excuse me, he Democratic governor, apparently they pulled out a yearbook photo of him. He's either the dude in blackface or the dude next to him in the Klan outfit, and neither one of these is good. He went on now.
Which one is worse?
Which one is who? And he's like, this is his med school joint, happened in '84, same time Douglas Wilder was elected. So there is context of this as being bad. Yeah, he went in and said, hey, this is a bad mistake, this and that and the other. Saturday done said, no, that was Friday. And Saturday said, nah, it wasn't me. Pulled a Shaggy. It wasn't me. None of that is me. Now everybody's calling him for them to step down and all this stuff. Huh? Hello?
No, you're forgetting the point. He said it wasn't him. But he made know that shoe polish is really hard to get off your face. Yes. Well, why?
He did know this, and he stepped into it just like that. Yes, because he said, he did occasionally put on, one occasion, I don't know, put on makeup to dance like Michael Jackson, because you need that in order to dance like Michael Jackson. And since it's the 80s. It's the black Michael Jackson. So
he couldn't get the moves right if he didn't have the pigment. I mean,
right?
He didn't know.
Again, no. Also remember, his wife had the time to tell him, "Hey, don't moonwalk, you idiot."
It's just it keeps getting better and better for him, and his calls and all this stuff. And it's a shame because I see what's going on, and a lot of people, we're politically inclined. We see what's going on. There's this whole abortion thing going on. These guys are big advocates, and of course, and then okay, cool. So your second runner-up, your Lieutenant Governor Fairfax could be the second black mayor. Nope, he's got some scandal going on too. Then the third in line, also blackface in college. I'm like, so yes, I see what's going on.
College.
Yeah, I don't know where these white dudes go to college, where the blackface was great and such a great idea, but wherever it is, Bernie will not be there. My son will now go there.
Hey,
I don't care what kind of scholarship you got.
Let me say this. I remember when I was a kid, like, and we would drive through. Like, my mom actually like reminded me this recently. It's like if I like drove through Virginia, and they got the big Confederate flag just hanging out there, and I'm just like, whoa, we are in enemy territory.
Yep.
And that was in the 80s, so it was not like that wasn't just, it's there. I mean, hell, it's big ass Confederate flag is still there now. So it's still like 84. Wasn't that?
They're just celebrating
being losers, the biggest losers.
Treasonous flags.
Even though I'm coming in from 5 minutes ago, thank y'all for rolling with me tonight in the technical difficulties. Thank y'all out there for listening. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files, coming to you from the past, is Files.